So now we're gonna do static stability to dynamic stability with isometric to isotonic reversals. So come on up into quadruped. If quadruped is too difficult because there's pain discomfort in the knees, you can use a pillow under the knees. They can be fisted on the hands if there's carpal tunnel issues. They can be over the edge of the mat with their hands, so they're not in that full extension as well. Perfect. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do in quadruped is, let's do medial lateral, because that's what we were starting with prone elbows. You can do just the upper trunk, you can do just the pelvis, or you can do the upper trunk and pelvis. So I'm gonna demonstrate the upper trunk and pelvis, and then if you guys wanna play around with the hand positioning where you were just on one versus the other, you can do that. And the reason why you would do that is if, for example, you had a patient who had a lot of pelvic weakness or lower trunk weakness, right? But their upper body was really strong. So maybe it's a patient who's had a spinal cord injury, their upper body is rock solid, but you really wanna focus on their pelvis. Then you can do that. All right, so good, push up into my hands, perfect. Are your wrists okay?
Yeah, I can go here.
You can do that.
Okay.
No, it's totally fine. I just wanted to make sure you were comfortable
Yeah.
in this position. So, or we could look at other people, you know,
No, it's
just
okay.
kind of stare at them like they stared at you to volunteer.
It's okay.
All right, hold here. Don't let me push you away. Hold, hold, hold. And then don't let me pull you towards me. Hold, hold, hold. Don't let me push you away. Hold, hold, hold. Don't let me pull you towards me. Hold, hold. So I'm obviously positioning myself on the patient's weak side, right? So you'd always want to do that because in case you lost her balance or this tricep kicked out, if there's weakness in that upper extremity, you want to be here to be able to support that. And that's medial lateral isometric reversals. So now we can go to isotonic, going into dynamic stability. Now I want you to pull away, good, and then push towards me. Pull away, push towards me. Pull away, push towards me, and hold. So with this, you can see I'm not doing this. I'm not moving my hands from here to here, crossing the trunk. I'm keeping one hand opposite the other across the trunk so we get more co-contraction across the trunk to work to get those muscles to work together and to coordinate with that direction change. So that's medial lateral, and then we can do, where am I at, number 3? I just want to make sure I'm not skipping anything. And then we can go anterior, posterior. So again, the hand placements are the same as we just did in prone on elbows. If we're doing the entire trunk, it would be here. Don't let me push you forward. Hold, hold, hold for isometric reversals. And don't let me pull you back. Hold, hold, hold. Isotonic would just be pull forward, good, and push back. Pull forward and push back. So you would go through that range of motion. So your hand positioning and your hand placement is the same for isometric and isotonic. The only difference is you're going through the range. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Does it matter that your hand closest to you is on the shoulder closest to you?
It really doesn't. I just like to have my body position more open.
Mm-hmm.
So if I did this, I would feel like a little more closed
Mm-hmm.
off to the patient. Like if I was here, go ahead and pull up and then push back, as opposed to being here,
Mm-hmm.
pull up and push back. Like I just like to have more space. I feel like if I'm open, my body mechanics are a little bit better too. But again, I changed my direction of my body position when I was changing the direction of force, right? So I went from here to here when I went AP. And then diagonal would be here. Go ahead and pull up and over onto this shoulder and then push back towards me. Pull up and over, push back towards me. So it's an isotonic in that direction, in that diagonal direction. And the compliant surface with this, yeah, you can take a break for a second. The compliant surface with this, you can put, Dynadiscs under the hand. You can have them on foam, a TheraBand on the outsides of the forearms to help get a little more co-contraction in that scapula, or even in the lower extremities if you wanted to put TheraBand around the knees or in the lower thighs. All right, so let's go to